Hi, my name's Matthew Sweet and I'm a writer who spends a lot of time in the 19th century. And I'm here to discover the world behind the world of Penny Dreadful, set in Victorian London, but maybe not a Victorian London that you've seen before. So we're going to be exploring the sexual geography with Reeve Carney, who plays Dorian Gray. We're going to be going to where the cruising grounds were, where the prostitutes were, where the Victorians bought their pornography. So let's go off and start that journey.
Hey, Matthew.
Reeve.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Welcome to the Cremorne Gardens.
Thank you. What would you have seen on a typical Saturday night in the 19th century?
So the Cremorne Gardens were a pleasure ground, really, a place where you came to have a good night out. And there was dancing here, drinking, a lot of eating. It was the most incredible pickup place,
right.
The Cremorne Gardens.
Would you like to have an adventure?
Yes, Mr. Gray, I should like an adventure.
It sounds like a lot of the characters from Penny Dreadful would probably have congregated in a place like this.
I'm sure they would have had a fantastic time, wouldn't they?
I like to see one extraordinary thing every day.
We're standing on a street that was the site of one of the principal outlets of the thriving Victorian pornography business. There's something interesting that happens in the 1890s. Leonard Smithers, who's one of the principal producers of pornography, is also publishing those avant-garde writers like Oscar Wilde.
Obviously, there's a lot of controversy with the picture of Dorian Gray originally, and you would need a publisher like that to get it made. In Penny Dreadful, Dorian sort of commissions his own pornography and has it made himself. Were there people like that that would have their own private collections?
Absolutely they were. People who had studios of their own with booming little businesses. These people just loved the rare and the unusual. I suppose it's a rather Dorian Gray-like instinct.
May I?
All right, so where have you brought me to now?
Well, this is Leicester Square, where in the 19th century, prostitutes would ply their trade. And they would have been in here, in what was the Empire Theatre.
So how exactly are the prostitutes connected to this theatre?
They were there because there were spaces inside the theatre where they could pick up work. On the ground floor, that was where you went if you were interested in men. And on the upper floor, that's where you went if you were interested in women.
Sounds like Dorian would have probably made a stop at each of the bars.
I think he would have kept him busy for a very long time.
This is Miss Brona Croft.
Oh, but we've met, I believe.
Reeve, I brought you to this location because it's got a very specific link with Oscar Wilde's picture of Dorian Gray. In that when Dorian Gray came out, people said that it was the sort of book that was fit only for outlaw nobles and perverted telegraph boys. Now, that's a reference to something that happened in a building just over there, number 19 Cleveland Street, which was the site of the most notorious male brothel in Victorian London.
I should warn you, this is not completely legal.
Not my first time.
Thank you for your time today, Matthew. I've learned a lot, and it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for me, too. Perhaps
Yeah.
not as much a pleasure as it was for the Victorians.
It sounds like it.